quarterback in this league. This is what you want out of your first round pick. Josh Allen was drafted in 2018. I know they put him in early in the season, played about 12 games, had more interceptions and touchdowns, but he showed promise. 2019, he was a good quarterback, 20 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. And this year, he's having an MVP type season. That's the type of progression you want from your quarterback. And that's what you're getting out of the Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And I credit Josh Allen first. He's the one putting in the work. He's the one studying defenses, studying his offense, and making sure he can make every throw. But you also have to give credit to Sean McDermott and the whole coaching staff, his coach. I do believe, Big Sarge, there are quarterbacks out there that just didn't make it, that in different scenarios, if they were surrounded by different folks, they would have made it. I think it's, though you're an individual as a quarterback, your success as a quarterback is a team effort. And I think right now Josh Allen is in a good place with Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs, trading for Stephon Diggs. I just feel like Sean McDermott, the head coach, is doing him a solid by how they're surrounding him with certain talent and certain people. And he's doing his part. 90% of it is him. He's doing his part that he's having the success he's having now.
A lot of people have their offense coordinator. I think it's Brian Dable. I can't pronounce his last name, but a lot of people have him in the running, as a candidate for the Texans head coaching job as well. And I see that. And I said on last night that I like the fact that, he's a great offense coordinator, but, when you got a wide receiver like Stephon Diggs, he changes the whole complexity of that offense. He opens up a lot. He's opened up a lot for Cole Beasley. And I like Cole Beasley. I think he's a really good slot receiver. But he opens that side of the field for him. Also, they have a really good tight end. I can't think of his name. I'm going to kick myself right now for not remembering who the tight end is. But they have a really good tight end, and their running game is starting to become a whole lot better. So the Bills has gotten a lot better, over time. And I'll put it like this, Indy. I was one of the biggest critics of Josh Allen coming out because, listen, how petty are you, Indy, if you go all the way back to his 8th grade stats? There were some people.
That's bad. You didn't do that, did you?
I didn't, but the research was out there that he had been terrible from 8th grade all the way through his first year in the NFL. And so his problem was he couldn't throw short. His arm is super strong, but he couldn't throw short. And now he's learned how to do that. I think he's worked on his craft. And, he's getting better. I can't knock him. I can't say that Josh Allen is a bad quarterback. And I will say this. Against some good teams this year, Indy, you can tell that he's still struggling a little bit. He's still learning. But he does what he's supposed to do against them bad teams.
And we hear that a lot. Everyone struggles. Everyone struggles against good teams. This is one critique about Tom Brady. And no, I'm not comparing them. Well, and I hear it all the time. Oh, Tom Brady, he's not that great when he's under pressure. What? You're telling me when a 6'5", 260-pound defensive end is in his face, he's not the same Tom Brady as when he has a clean pocket. I get what they're trying to say because I actually think Deshaun Watson is better when the pocket breaks down and he's able to improvise and he's able to utilize his athletic ability to move around in the pocket and buy time for his receivers to get open. So I get what they're saying, but they always say like it's a knock against Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. Oh, they don't like to get hit. I'm like, how many quarterbacks do like to get hit? But I bring that up. I bring up the Buffalo Bills beating the Patriots 38-9. When I look at my power rankings, the ND Kalu power rankings going into the playoffs, and I didn't realize this, obviously you have Kansas City number 1. And with Kansas City's victories, you see that, there are some teams out there that have really pushed them, and they can be beat in a playoff scenario. But I still have them as hands down the number 1 team in the NFL. Then I have Green Bay. They're on a 5-game win streak. Aaron Rodgers is playing like Aaron Rodgers. Now they have 2 capable running backs with Dillon and Aaron Jones, who's having a second year as a 1,000-yard rusher out of UTEP. But then when I look at past that, I don't know if I can put any other team above the Buffalo Bills right now as we get ready for the playoffs, because I think there are a host of teams that could all jockey and fight for the number 4 and 5 position, whether it's the Saints, the Seahawks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who seem to get back on track. That's where I'm like, wow, Sean McDermott has really got this team going from maybe a contender, the same Buffalo Bills team that just last year came to Houston and lost in the playoffs, and Josh Allen had a bad second half. Now with Stephon Diggs and this guy, you know who this is?
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley.
I've been on Cole Beasley. I've been saying he's a really good rapper.
He's a really good rapper. And Cole Beasley as your second and third wide receiver, the Buffalo Bills are now a team to be. They are a true contender. How can this guy not be a good wide receiver? Let me shut up. Well, he got his big contract, and now he could pay for this. That's Cole Beasley. That's strong.
It really is. I got a question for you, ND.
Is there any person in here? I don't want to get you in trouble. Okay, what's the question?
I got a question.
Keep that going.
Before we move on.
No, we got time.
All right, so look, in the locker room, who was the best rapper during your playing days? Who had the best flow?
I was the best freestyle.
What?
Let me take myself out of it.
What?
You know what? It was always a guy you wouldn't know. You know, a special teamer, a guy who's barely
had time to work on it.
Exactly. So I know, and that's a good question. And I know what people want to. Oh, it was Donovan McNabb, or it was a big name like Bobby Taylor. But there's always that one guy who doesn't really make the team. But during training camp and when the rookies have to do their rookie talent show, they'll be like, oh, God, dog, if he wasn't wasting time with football, he would be the next Biggie, Pac, or whatever. So, but it wasn't ever. Oh, I'm going way back. I'm showing my age to my rookie year. Do you remember the running back Ricky Waters?
Yes. Out of Notre Dame, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe he put out an album. When I was a rookie, he was like in his 10th year. Josh, see if you could find that. But Ricky Waters put out an album, but he didn't freestyle.
What did it go like? Wood, silver, what?
Oh man,
copper.
I don't think that went liquid. I don't even think that went liquid. But it's tough for. We're all over this place, but today's like a Friday anyway. It is tough for athletes who try to become rappers to be taken serious, even if they're good.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is. Like Cole Beasley has flow, but he's never going to sell 1 million records.
Dame Lillard in the NBA is serious.
I downloaded his iTunes. It's good. It's good. Right here in Houston's own, the running back.
Arian Foster.
He's nice. He's talented.
Yeah, Arian Foster got flow.
But for whatever reason, it's almost like people don't want to see other people succeed in two industries, but they just, if you're an athlete and you can rap, unless you're Shaquille O'Neal, you're not going gold or platinum. I think people just like, it's corny when athletes do it. So Cole Beasley got flow.
He does have flow. Now back to your number two, Buffalo Bills being number two.
Number three, I have Kansas City, Green Bay, Buffalo Bills
over New Orleans. I still don't think that Buffalo is better than the New Orleans Saints. I just don't. And maybe it's because I've seen the body of work of New Orleans and over time. And I know we're going by this season, but they're just good. Mm-hmm. And no matter what, look at the adversity. Sean Payton put in a tight end / running back / kickoff return specialist / punter. I don't know. He's the water boy. He's the equipment manager. Taysom Hill does it all. And he put him in at quarterback, even though I didn't think he was supposed to be over Jameis Winston. Right. But anyway, he put him in, and it just kept going. Does that mean that Drew Brees may be assistant quarterback? No, don't start that one, Big Sarge. Yeah.
No, but when you watch that game, it's now Taysom Hill. He's a very, very good football player. But and maybe Sean Payton will prove us wrong. I don't see him being week 1 through week 3 of the playoffs type starting quarterback.
Taysom Hill?
Yes.
No, me either. No.
And I could be wrong because we all thought that Sean Payton was crazy when he started Taysom Hill over Jameis Winston when Drew Brees went down, and it worked out quite well for him. But I'm not sold on Taysom Hill. Even when if Drew Brees calls it a career this year, they need to do one of two things: hand the keys to Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill and say, okay, y'all are just going to battle it out. And if Jameis Winston wins that battle, then you continue to use Taysom Hill the same way you use him now. Like you have certain packages for him.
Yeah.
You can even give him 2 or 3 series at a time because as a former defensive player, that's tough. When you spend all week preparing for Jameis Winston, a guy that's not that athletic, and then you throw Taysom Hill in there, and it's like, oh, we got to switch up our rush lanes. We got to switch up what we do.
You know he's running though, right? When Taysom Hill comes in, you as a defensive player, you know he's running, right?
You know he's running, but you know there's a threat that he might throw. Didn't he have like 200-300 yards passing? Yeah.
He threw two touchdowns against Atlanta in week 3, I think, if I'm not mistaken. If you go back and you look at the games he played, now I know I just gave him credit. Now I'm probably talking out both sides of my mouth, but they played Atlanta twice and Denver. And when you're playing teams like that, of course you can get by with just plug and play. But by the same token, passing wise, I wouldn't fear him as a defense coordinator. I'd be like, he had to prove it to me.
Right. Like when we played against Vince Young as a defense, we're like, he don't have to beat us with his arm.
Really?
Yeah, like the way we rushed, the way we approached it, we were like, okay, he's going to have to beat us with his arm. Now he beat us with his legs, but our thought going into the game was like, you're going to show us. You're going to have to show us. So we did what's called a muddle rush where we try to keep a pocket and collapse it, but it wasn't that aggressive spin inside and lose contain because we could track him down. We knew if he got out of the pocket, he could beat us with his legs, but we said if he beats us and he throws for 300 yards, then he's the better player today. And that was our plan going into it. What made Michael Vick so tough, his arm was a rocket, his legs were a rocket, and we were just scratching our heads every time we played Michael Vick. Quick timeout, Jay, I see you. 713-212-5790 if you want to get in. Is that my man Ricky Waters?